Okay. StreamYard has just alerted me that I'm live. Now I gotta wait for YouTube to let you know that I'm live. And then we can go ahead and begin with another episode of VypDrive. This one should be fun. Got an Android legend in the building. So I will give you guys a couple of minutes to file in. For those of y'all that want to watch. And look, YouTube just sent out the notification. So now all of you all know that we are live. We got the Norwegian sensation, Avid. What's up, man? How you doing? How you doing, man? How you doing? We have Marvin Wallace out there. I see you. Tech for your needs. What's going on? Gabriel Black. What's up? What's happening? What's happening? How y'all doing? Y'all got here quick. Damn. Wait. StreamYard says 13 is watching. YouTube says 7 is watching. Somebody lying. Miles Tech, what's going on? How you doing? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say StreamYard is lying to me. Tech 702, the Bionic Scoop. Okay, we got people in the building. We got people in the cut. Black scientists. Whoa! Wow! Y'all got here quick. Wow, 19 people are watching me now. Okay, all right. Okay, so y'all came here because y'all want to see Viper chop it up with Max Lee. So let's go ahead and get the man in here so we can get this done. Let me take a drink real quick. We'll go ahead and begin. James Herrera, Manny Sanchez. We got Ace Rockola. What's happening? How y'all doing? All right, let's go ahead and get the party started. We got 21 people watching here. We can go ahead and get it popping here. El Jefe, I see you, El Jefe. You see where we at, baby. You see where we at, El Jefe. I see you. So, this is VypDrive episode 118. And 118 brings Android tech YouTube legend to the podcast, baby. We got the man, the myth, Mr. Higher Android himself is here. And he's next on VypDrive, which starts now. What's up, people? This your boy Viper, the man about tech, and welcome back to another episode of VypDrive. This is the podcast about tech, hosted by the man about tech. And tonight we have an Android legend in the building, a longtime tech content creator on YouTube. This dude has over some 400,000 subscribers on the platform. He is Mr. High on Android himself. Let's bring in Max Lee to the building. What's up, Max? How you doing, man?
What's up, buddy? How are you, Viper?
I'm good. Thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate you.
No, thanks for bringing me on the show. It's great. Remember I was all complaining?
I don't know if I would call it complaining, but you did ask me, could you come on the show? I'm like, cool. We got to have you on here. So, Max, first question I ask every first-time guest, what brought you to YouTube?
It was actually a free storage, I think back in 2000. Actually, the first time I heard about it was in college. My roommate was something 2003. He was playing with his computer and he's like, oh, there's this new YouTube thing and people are uploading viral videos, right? And then a couple of years later, I was working for this company, and then I made a tutorial, but I didn't have anywhere to put it. So I just started uploading using YouTube. But back then people weren't using YouTube to make money, or it was real small. But yeah, it's basically a free file sharing service. Yeah. How about you?
Oh, what brought me to YouTube? I mean, I watched YouTube for a long time before I became a creator on YouTube, and then one day I just decided, you know what, it's time to throw my hat in the ring, and here we are, almost 3 years later. So you came to YouTube because you wanted to store some videos on here. Did you ever imagine that you would be on the platform all these years later?
Yeah, I think so, because YouTube is the biggest file sharing, video file sharing service, and then I think I thought it was going to actually overtake TV, and they got YouTube TV now. Everybody watching YouTube, So
I mean, YouTube has pretty much overtaken TV. I think I made a video about this 2 years ago about how YouTube is actually bigger than network television. I mean, YouTube is literally the biggest media network in the world. It's bigger than anything else out there. Really, it really is.
Yeah. Right. Cool.
Definitely. So, high on Android. Now, when we talk about starting a YouTube channel these days, the YouTube gurus always talk about niching down, picking that particular subject area that you become known for. And obviously, you did that very early on because obviously you are the guy to go to for Android tutorials, how to root Android phones, things like that. So, how did you decide to go down the Android path?
Actually, I really like the open source stuff. So when Android came out, and then Apple already had the iPhone out, and then it's I don't know. I just like open source stuff. So I was like, I thought it was gonna be big, so I was just like, okay, maybe I'll just get into smartphones. I was doing all kind of tech before. My videos were just like making an alarm clock or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm trying to get away from that. I'm just doing too much Android, so I feel like I want to just do like skateboard now. Skateboard.
Yeah, I saw you got some boosted board content on your channel now. So, so is it just that you're like falling out of love with Android, or is it just that you just want to do more than Android?
Yeah, I just want to do something different. Just doing phone all the time. It's kind of gets repetitive. Because they're not coming out with like new. I mean, I guess they have the Galaxy Fold. It just sort of folds, but I don't know. It's good to have like do a lot of different things. People say you want to niche out, but you see some other channels, they do a lot of other things too. So I think I don't know. I think it depends on you, but I just want to branch out to more stuff. This point.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you've been on the platform for so long and you have such a big following that you can pretty much do whatever you want now. But people like me that are just starting out, more or less, we can't do that. Otherwise, we'll get chewed up by the algorithm. Well, let me take that back. We can't do that if we want to grow a channel. Obviously, if you want to just come on here and have fun and not worry about growing a channel, you can do whatever the hell you want. But if you want to grow a channel, then obviously you have to focus and niche down on a particular subject area. And like I said, you've been doing Android content for so long that you have earned the right to pretty much do whatever you want because you have the following that will rock with you no matter what.
No. Sometimes I do. I'll post, other videos, and people are like, "Stick to smartphones." I'm like, what? Sometimes it gets frustrating. People expect, like, if they've seen like smartphone videos, and they just only expect you to do smartphones, like,
Yeah, but I think that's just the way humans are wired, though. I mean, we don't like surprise. We like routine. We're creatures of habit. If we know you for something, we want you to stick to that one thing. I mean, top A-list celebrities get this all the time. Athletes get this all the time. Stick to what you do. Blah blah blah. So it's not just you, man. It's just the way humans are wired as a whole.
Yeah. Well, it's just plus. I don't know. YouTube. Yeah, the algorithm thing is true. You got to really focus on your subject, and then it helps you, I guess, show up on the search results or whatever. But I don't know. It's just always trying to balance. Like, do you want to just target the viewers, or do you want to do what you want to do? So
yeah,
sometimes it's hard.
Yeah, and I mean, you can figure out a way to balance both because and big as you are, I'm pretty sure you could balance both if you really got down to the nitty gritty of it all. Because I mean, like I said, you've been doing it long enough where you've earned that right to do what you want to do, but at the same time, still give your viewers what they came for.
I don't know. I don't know if I earned the right.
I mean, man, when you got almost 500,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel, I mean, you have a lot of diehard fans. I mean, some of them are watching this podcast right now, so you've earned the right to do what you got to do. But I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that thing that you're holding in your hand because I believe the LG V60
Velvet.
Oh yeah, okay, that's the Velvet. Okay, so how are you like that device? It seems like you're enjoying it.
It's not bad. I mean, it's sort of similar to the V60, but it's slimmer, and obviously it's it's got a different processor. So I just play with it, but it's not. I wouldn't say. I actually like the V60 more.
Okay.
Because it's got a more powerful processor. This sort of like, or even the OnePlus Nord. These are all like sort of, half-ass processors. They're fast as 2-year phones like Snapdragon. What is it? 845 is about the same.
Right.
So I don't know why. I guess I guess the benefit is that you get better battery life with the 5G, and the price, I guess, lower.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe that's, people are saying phones are now too fast. We don't need these faster phones. So it could be a good option, I guess.
I mean, there are so many phones out there right now. I mean, basically, you have your pick of the litter, more or less. Just, you can just find whatever device that you rock with the most, and then go that way.
Yeah, I just sort of got tired of reviewing every smartphone out there. Just nowadays, I just use a few that I really like. I don't even like to review too many phones, unless they're,
Right. No, I understand. I mean, hell, I think smartphones have gotten kind of still. I mean, most of the time they're just rectangular slabs that do the same thing they've been doing for the past 10 years or so. So I think I kind of get how you feel, because I believe that we've kind of peaked when it comes to smartphone hardware.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's much more that we can. I don't know if there's more that we can do with actual smartphone hardware. I think the next advancement in technology is going to be software like AI and augmented reality, things like that.
Yeah. What about you? What are you using now?
Oh, you know who I am, Mac. You're Mr. Higher Android. I am the captain of Team Apple. So right here in my hand, I have an iPhone 11 Pro Max.
Oh,
you know who I am.
I'm just kidding.
Don't act brand new. But you also know I got the Galaxy S20 Ultra.
Okay.
Have you got this device? Have you had a chance to play with this device?
Yeah, I have an Ultra.
Okay, we got to talk about why did they fall so flat on the camera and the autofocus, man? Because the autofocus on here, still to this day, is not up to par, man. What happened there?
I think, I don't know. They messed up the autofocus mechanism, basically. But the regular Ultra, no, not the Ultra, it's the Plus. The Plus is okay. Just the Ultra's kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So I have both, and then I don't know. Ultra, it's too huge. Like, who needs a phone that's like, I mean,
it's kind of frustrating to me, because the Ultra starts at $1,400, and they marketed it and hyped it up so much about the camera system, that 100x time zoom or whatever the case may be. But they couldn't even get the basic fundamentals of the camera right, man. They couldn't even get the basic fundamentals of the camera right. What the hell, Samsung? Come on, man.
Yeah, I think they just I don't know what they're thinking, and they try to the 100x zoom or whatever, space zoom. It's just like it's not even usable. It's just all digital zoom,
Literally.
Yeah,
that's literally what it is. That's literally what it is, man. Shout out to the 34 you all that are watching the podcast live tonight. Thank you for joining me and Matt Lee. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of VypDrive. If you guys want to donate or support the podcast, the super chat option is open. You can buy me a coffee. The link is in the description. Or you can also become a channel member. None of this stuff is actually required, but anything that you're willing to contribute, greatly appreciated. So thank you for hanging out tonight. Remember, we had 2 episodes of VypDrive tonight. This is just episode number 1. The next one will be at 10 p.m. Eastern. So thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate you. Shout out to those of y'all listening on audio only. Thank you for listening to another episode of VypDrive with me and my man, Matt Lee. I appreciate you guys rocking out each and every episode. If you guys want to follow Matt and his content, his information will be down in the show notes. So definitely go check him out. Also, if you guys want to support or donate to the podcast, that information will be down in the show notes. Not required, but anything that you're willing to do, greatly appreciate it. Also, if you happen to be listening on Apple Podcasts, please consider leaving a rating or review as to help more people discover the podcast. And we're trying to get back into that top 200 of tech podcasts over on Apple Podcasts. So if you happen to be on Apple Podcasts, please leave a rating and review. And thank you for listening to another episode of VypDrive. All right, Matt. I want to talk more about that device you're holding in your hand, because obviously actually, you didn't switch devices on me. Okay. So I want to go back to the LG V60 Velvet for a minute. Okay. You got it with the dual screen case. So you got the case that kind of folds, but it's not a foldable in a true sense, but you got the dual screen with the hinge that folds and things like that. So I'm interested to get your thoughts on that foldable as a whole. How do you like the foldable that you have with the hinge? And what are your thoughts on the Galaxy Fold, which is the more natural foldable?
I think this is obviously better price. I mean, obviously it's way, it's actually less than actually a flagship to actually get the dual screen.
Right.
But this or even the LG V60. I mean, I don't really use it too much, but I think when I watch Netflix or something, I'll sort of watch it. Or if you play a lot of games, it can be real helpful. Use the down portion as a controller. I think the fold is just still needs work. We're just all guinea pigs. If you buy a fold right now, you're just gonna pay too much money. But I don't know. It's a good option for those of you who can't afford a real foldable phone or don't want to spend that much money.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, shot fired! Shot fired on the podcast. Woo, man, firing shots on the podcast. I see you, Max. I see you. But you're right though. You're absolutely right. Because we know we expect the Galaxy Fold 2 to be upwards around $2,000, probably more, some odd dollars. The original one was $1,980. So we expect the actual fold, to be uber expensive. So when you can get like a semi-foldable like the LG V60 or the LG Velvet, you can do that. It won't be a natural foldable, but you do have dual screens on there, so you can rock out with that if you want to.
Right. But another thing is like, why am I paying $2,000 twice more for a foldable phone when I can just unlock my phone like this? Why do I want to take it out, take another 3 seconds to open my phone and use it? It sort of goes backwards in a way. So it's if you're a practical person, you might actually be like, why the hell am I paying so I can make the phone foldable?
You know what? I've asked myself this question a lot, and I still have not come up with an answer. I kind of feel like you do. I don't know if folding phones is very practical yet. Obviously the premise right now is to take a regular phone and fold it out into a tablet form factor. Now, I have an iPhone 11 Pro Max. I have an iPad Pro. They both do their own independent functions very well. I don't really need to merge them into one device, which can't do like the individual functionality of those two devices probably as good as those devices can do it individually. Like if I have a folding, if I have a folding Apple device, right? It's probably not going to be a good iPhone as the regular iPhone. And if I fold it out, it's not going to be as good of an iPad as a regular iPad is. So I don't know if there's like a problem that exists that folding phones can solve. I guess if you want to have like a bigger form factor and make it more compact, then maybe, but you kind of get cheated on functionality when you try to compact the form factor to make it more portable and things like that. So I don't really know if foldables are practical, and I don't really think that they're the future. But they're the right now, and it's nice to see something different, like you were saying earlier, because for the last 10 years we've been used to this slab of glass. So the foldables are the new thing. They're the it thing right now. So I guess that's where we're at.
Yeah, I'll just wait till a few years when the price comes down, and I'm sure Apple will make foldable phones too. When the price comes down. But Samsung's the one spending all the money for whatever. Hopefully they're not gonna like patent everything and make it like people will copy it anyway. So
yeah, I
think it's just a start. But I wouldn't buy a foldable phone right now. It's just too expensive. Just doesn't make sense. Like you could buy a regular phone and then buy a tablet. It's still cheaper, better functionality.
There you go. There you go. You are absolutely right. You could buy a regular phone, have a tablet, and then boom, there you go. You don't need to put all the money on a foldable. You are absolutely right about that. So your channel name used to be High on Android. Now, I guess anybody with half a brain can figure out how you came up with the name, but just tell the story anyway for how you came up with that name.
No, it's back in college we used to get high a lot. that's what American college kids do, right? Wow. But that's not why I named it, but I was just looking for a name, and I was like, oh, okay, let's get high on Android.
That it is clever though. It's very, very clever. So yeah, man.
Yeah, it's not about actually getting high, but it's getting high on Android. So it's like sort of a more positive. Well, they're both positive. Just getting high. There's nothing wrong with getting high on something. Like.
I got you. I got you. But that's kind of cool though, because that shows that enthusiasm that you have for Android. But speaking of your enthusiasm for Android, why are you so pro Android? And you're like, I don't even know if you even like Apple device. What's up with that? What you got? Man? What you got against iPhone?
No, because I'm always about open source, and Apple's not about open source. The reason why you have one iPhone per year, there's no other. there's no competition. So Apple just, they're steadily improving, but they're not really trying new things. And then you look at Android and you see that because it's open source, everybody can make a phone. Now we have people are competing, like they're making like different types of phones. So you see a lot more selection, So, but I'm just all about open source, because Apple's not about open source. They're the opposite. They try to close down everything. So,
okay. So let's talk about open source. I mean, open source is awesome because, like you said, that allows these different manufacturers to take the code and manipulate it to however they see fit. That's why we have Galaxy devices. That's why we have OnePlus devices. That's why we have Pixels. That's why we have LG, Huawei, etc., etc. But don't you worry, Max, about how fragmented Android has become because of the open source and the way it's run?
Well, it depends. I mean, there's a lot of ways to do it because it's open source, and you can install custom ROM, or you can buy. There's just a lot more choices, and then the open source is good because now people in colleges, I think college classes or even high schools, are using Android to study about phones because you can root it and do all this stuff to the code. But with Apple, you can still do it, but it's not the same. Like you can't get to the system level. So it's I'm just looking at it big. Like, am I supporting the world of code and open source? Because I'm at the end of the day, I'm still like a programmer,
I love how you tried to deflect from my original question. I didn't ask you about any of that. I didn't ask you about that. I asked you about the fragmentation of Android. Don't try to avoid the question. Don't try to go here and bring the question back to me. I see what you're doing. Answer the question, Max. Answer the question. Come on, man.
Fragmentation. So that's actually not a bad thing. There's good things and bad things about it. So sometimes the different versions can have compatibility issues, but it's part of sort of Google's fault. But at the same time, you look at Apple. Like I updated my mom's old iPhone one time from like, I don't know, it's like an iPhone 4 or 5 or something, and I upgraded to the latest software after a few years. And then as soon as I updated, everything just crawled to like nothing. So there's problems with having it not fragmented too. That means when you make new technology, new code, and then you want to implement, like they say, face recognition in 2018, and then the old code doesn't have it. Maybe it's not inefficient to keep it the same. So I think I'm not too worried. I mean, nothing's really breaking with fragmentation.
I mean, that's an interesting way to look at it, but due to Android fragmentation, it kind of halted the adaptability of new Android OS updates. Like, how many people of all the Android phones that are out there right now, how much of a percentage is actually on Android 10 right now? Probably less than 15%, I gather.
That is a problem. Like you have like older LG or Samsung, they stop updating. Like I think like the Note 5, for example, it hasn't updated since Android 6 or 7 or whatever. But at the same time, that's good because you're not, putting a bunch of new code on really old processors. There's not going to be compatible anyways. It's, so in that ways, it could be better.
So basically, what you're saying is that if people want to keep their Android phone for 2 to 4 years, they don't get they ass out after a few years because they won't get no security updates because their phone is out of compliance. Is that what you're saying? Basically, what's going on, man?
No, just get a new phone. Like it's just 6-7-year-old. Like, why are you using a 6-7-year-old phone anyway? What the hell's wrong with you? Who's using a 6 or 7-year-old phone right now?
Do you know how many people are out there with iPhone 6s and 6s right now? Are you kidding me? People hang on to these phones. Right? Come on down.
Okay, I mean, I think 3 to 4 years maybe okay, but I think once you reach 5th or 6th year, your phone's gonna be so out of date. You're gonna be taking selfies, and people are gonna be like making fun of you, like, "What are you talking about? 5-year-old iPhone, bro?" You're like taking photos in like 480p.
You got to remember, Max, that me and you, we're like the hardcore tech nerds, so we kind of get like new phones like every year or every other year. But there are some regular non-techie people out here that keep their phones 3, 4, 5 years and they got to be taken care of, man.
Well, even before Android, I would switch phones at least once a year. Maybe I think 2 years is the most, unless you want to. I guess there are people that that don't really care about tech. They just want to use it for a phone. that's fine too. Then you can get a flip phone. I mean, those people don't even need to bother with smartphones these days. So you get better battery life with a flip phone.
Come on, man. You know how what our boy Flaw says about the Fox factor. You walk around, so you run up at a bar, you show up at a bar, Matt, and you put a flip phone on the table. You ain't kicking you out the bar, bro. What are you talking about, Matt?
Still, it can be more secure. Like if you're into like shady stuff, I mean, all the the narcos and stuff, they probably use a flip phone.
I bet. They have that like airtight security or whatever, or just like that incognito it's about the phone where nobody can look at that. Nobody can look at that stuff.
If you're not doing something online like you and me, then if I wasn't doing online, then I would just try to hide everything. Like I wouldn't want to have a. I mean, there's people that are super old style. They don't really need a smartphone because it's gonna make them just like, why do they want to like do that? They can not have to do that. So it's the technology is good that we can do all this on our phone, but at the same time, I think you look at our kids and stuff, it's too much doing this, all day, and I don't know. It's there's different type of people, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we got different generations out there, and they have like their different ideologies about how they feel about technology. Me and you were more tuned into technology and the way it works, and the more older seasoned folk, they don't really care that much about technology. They just want something that works, and they can rock with that. I mean, that's the way it is.
And then there's people like my daughter. She I changed her phone a few years ago, but she won't let me because she has all her games and stuff. Mm. There are people that just put their whole life in the phone, their game levels and stuff.
Right.
They can't upgrade because they need to hold on to their levels. And there are certain ways to move it, but sometimes you can't, then you just stuck.
Definitely. All right, so I want to talk about something that's kind of near and dear to you. Back in my younger days, probably maybe like 10 years or so ago, I used actually my first like iOS or Android. I had an Android long before I even had an iPhone because I'm on Verizon, and Verizon didn't even get iPhones until 2011 with the iPhone 4. So before I ever had an iPhone, I had the Droid X. I had I think what other ones. I had the HTC Thunderbolt. I had the Droid Bionic, and I used to root those phones.
Oh yeah, me too.
right.
Yeah.
But I think with the way phones work and how far we've come right here in 2020. I don't really feel the need to root my phones anymore. I mean, obviously, like I said, I have the S20 Ultra, but I don't really feel the need to root phones. Now, I know you just did a video a couple of months ago on your channel about what phones are the easiest to root. But I guess my question to you is, do you still feel like in 2020, there still is a need to root your Android, given how advanced they are?
Yeah, I mean, if you nowadays more people who root or who need like special applications, like you have a special. For example, let's say like you have a gaming, one of those gaming controllers. You can enable certain features without root, but that means you have to like connect a special connector or something. But when you have root, you don't have to bother with that. It just works. So there's certain apps that need system basically access, like a lot of game hacking apps, or maybe you're a developer of an app, then you'll want to root access to see have full system access. So it's really a niche, like people who want to get certain things done, and rooting helps them do it. And then also for me, like I can install, like if I have like old Samsung phones, I can still upgrade it to Android 10 with custom ROM, but Samsung stopped updating since like Android 7 or 8.
Right. Okay.
It's just useful if you have the use for it. Yeah, it's just like having a car and being able to open up the engine compartment and do what you want to do with it.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the beautiful things about Android, that you can have that root ability, although you can jailbreak on iPhone, but I think you get a lot more customization and flexibility rooting an Android phone and dealing with that. So if Grizzly is out here in the chat asking, do people still really root? I guess they do. There are people out there that still root phones, believe it or not, even in 2020.
Yeah, a lot of kids do. Like a lot of kids, they absolutely need the Fortnite hacks or the PUBG hacks.
Or Pokemon Go.
Yeah, Pokemon Go. Yeah, people love cheating. Cheating is just part of human life.
Oh God, we know. So in that video that you made 2 months ago, you said that the OnePlus phones and the Pixel phones are the easiest to root.
Oh yeah, the OnePlus and also they don't void the warranty. Or Xiaomi phones are pretty good too.
Now, I think I know the answer, but I'll have you explain it since you're more into rooting than I am. What makes the OnePlus and Pixel phone easier to root than like a Samsung or a Huawei or any other phone?
So Samsung is not been they did their own thing, so it's not designed to root, even the international root.
Oh, that probably got there. That's right.
Yeah, whereas OnePlus and Pixels are designed so you can easily root. They have instructions on how to do it. Whereas like other manufacturers like Samsung, all the US phones have lock bootloaders, so you can't really root it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, all the LG phones in the US, you can't really root it anyway. Yeah, but I don't know why companies like Samsung, LG, they should. That's one of the original Android features, that you could have full system admin, but they try to blame it on security. But it's just worse for the users because you have less choices now.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny because there seems to be like some like this role reversal going on between iOS and Android. I feel like iOS is trying to become more like Android. Let me take that back. I feel like iOS is trying to become more open like Android, and Android is trying to become more closed like iOS. It's kind of weird what's happening here lately, but that's what's happening.
But I actually rather would have seen, they had the Palm Pre, which actually ran full Linux, whereas Android is a fork of Linux. I wish Palm Pre was around. Then we would have like a true open source one, because Android's still not like really 100 open source. They still have to, companies have to still pay some fees or whatever.
Yeah, I think there's like a group of companies that own Android or own the open source project. I think it's like Google, Samsung, LG, and some other companies that I think Sony's a part of that. I think there's like a group of companies that own the open source project or whatever, something like that. But yeah, interesting.
It's just a mess. Android became sort of it's good at the same time. It's a big mess. Apple's maybe not a big mess, but it's Apple. Then now you're stuck with really high prices, less selection.
Listen, man, that while that might be true, nobody can take anything away from the Apple ecosystem because there's nothing like it on Android. Android still hasn't figured it out.
I don't know, but if you don't use it, like, what do you absolutely need to use Apple for? Like, this.
Like, listen, man, if you own multiple Apple devices, there's nothing like the ecosystem. I mean, especially for creators, man. We got iMessage, we got AirDrop. I mean, we got iCloud and all these other things. Not saying that Android doesn't have so many things, because they have like cloud services and things like that too. But there is just something about using, like, when you own multiple Apple devices, how they work seamlessly together to make that user experience like just something that just does not exist anywhere else. And like I said, there's nothing even remotely close on Android.
Google Drive, it's the same thing, right?
No, about that. I mean,
Apple products,
not really. No, not quite. See, the other thing about iOS being closed is that Apple controls everything from hardware to software, so it kind of makes everything a little tighter and easier to operate, especially when you're in that ecosystem. With everybody doing their own thing on Android, it kind of makes it more convoluted to get similar things done that you would get done in the Apple ecosystem. Not saying that you can't do them on Android, but Google Drive, you can't compare Google Drive to iCloud. No.
Well, I'm not really too into the cloud stuff because anytime your personal stuff is being uploaded to a cloud, period, it's just you're exposing your data to hackers. I mean, if it does get hacked, then your data is going to get hacked. Whereas that's why I don't even like using cloud. So I have everything. I use FTP. Okay. I have my own FTP server. So I don't know, if you're really worried about security, I wouldn't use iCloud anyway, even if you use the app a little bit. But I think it's very convenient for everyday people that are not into tech, that you could it just makes it easy. But yeah. I don't know.
I mean, iCloud, it comes in clutch when I'm changing iPhones every year. I mean, I can drop down all my data from iCloud right onto my new iPhone, and I'm good to go. I mean, I think you could do something similar on Android, but it's not as seamless as just doing it with iCloud. So, I mean, but again, I'm not trying to say that iOS is better than Android, because Android has its advantages over iOS too. But yeah, man, that ecosystem is something else. A beat.
Yeah, just if I guess it can help, but I'm just saying, like, they relying on cloud. It's just fundamentally, it's just not good for security. Just if you have anything that's serious, like let's say you have like a Bitcoin wallet or something, I would not use cloud because People can hack cloud. That's the thing. It's not it's
No,
hackable.
you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. If you don't have something physically on your person under lock and key, where you're the only person that has the key, you can be hacked and you will be hacked. I mean, good Lord, how many hacks have we heard about over the past 10 years, from Equifax to Target to Chase? I mean, everybody's been hacked. Nothing is safe. And nothing is safe, Matt, because all these security measures are designed by human beings who are inherently flawed. So there's always going to be a vulnerability. And I'm not even talking about, I didn't even get into the whole corruption and things like that, like what happened with Twitter this past week, with some employee giving some hackers the back doors into the Twitter directory and all that crap. But yeah, I mean, as long as the internet exists, as long as the internet is made by human beings, there will always be a vulnerability open to hacking. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, but I think they're gonna, the Bitcoin technology, the blockchain technology, it's gonna eventually make that safe too. But right now, basically, a cloud server is basically some server keeping your data, and that server is just hanging somewhere in the internet. And if hackers decide to hack it, they can hack it. There's no, it's just very, But later on, we will have blockchain technology that, then it's unhackable. Then you'll need a lot of power. So
that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to get your thoughts on something that I've heard that is in the work with Samsung over on the Android side here. We both know that right now Qualcomm and the Snapdragon CPUs are dominating the Android side, at least here in North America. If you're not North America, you have other options, but not that many. But you have options. But here in North America, it's all about Qualcomm, Snapdragon this, Snapdragon that. Apparently, I've heard that Samsung is trying to move away from the Snapdragon CPU. I think they're trying to work with AMD to make their own chips. Now, we know that Samsung currently makes the Exynos chips, but those have been kind of lacking in comparison to their Snapdragon counterparts lately. So, Mac, what do you think about Samsung trying to work with AMD to come up with their own chips to try to break away from that Qualcomm chain, man?
I think if they can, that's fine. But they were going to try do that a few years back with the Exynos. But the problem was they couldn't make enough of it. Like they couldn't make enough Exynos chips. So that's part of the reason why they went back to using Qualcomm for North America. But yeah, I think the same thing could happen. It's not that they could, they can make these chips, but they can't make enough of them. So I don't know, but I think it's good to have Qualcomm around. Have a third party. If it's all Samsung, then I don't know. It's going to be less competition.
Yeah, I mean, but Qualcomm's not going nowhere at all. Obviously, I mean, Qualcomm is the predominant chip manufacturer on Android here in North America. I just think that Samsung wants to kind of break off their line from Qualcomm for their own thing. I think mostly all the other Android manufacturers like Google and LG and Sony and Huawei and all of them, they're still going to stick with Qualcomm anyway. Well, I see Huawei using their own chip, but yeah, most of the Android manufacturers not named Samsung here in North America, they're going to use Qualcomm because that's what they use anyway. But I just think it's interesting that Samsung is trying to break away from Qualcomm and do their own thing with AMD. So it'll be interesting to see if that actually comes to fruition anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean they've been trying a bunch of times. They even had their Tizen OS, whatever. I think they still use it for the phones, the watches or whatever. But I don't know. I think it's better to use Qualcomm because for compatibility, once you have a new chip, then you have to, some apps might not. The system code you have to change, and it's better to have one real popular chip. Then everything's more compatible.
Yeah, you got that uniformity is definitely key, no doubt.
Yeah. What? So where you at again? You're in the Midwest.
Yes, sir. I am in Chicago, Illinois. Yes.
Oh, how's Chicago? I heard there's a bunch of people die, right?
Yeah, it's a little crazy out here. It's like the Wild Wild West lately, but unfortunately, that is typical Chicago. People getting shot all the time.
Are you in this the city in the city, or are you in like sort of this?
I'm in the burb, yeah.
The suburb of Chicago. Okay, I don't know where. I've just been to Chicago one time by the lake over there. Yeah.
Right. Gotcha. All right, so now let's have a little fun. Obviously, you are close friends with my dude Flossie Carter. So I'm curious about how you and Flossie met because you guys have a tight relationship.
Yeah, I just met him online, and like I think he was had a problem with his phone, so I saw your video, man. So he hit me up first or something, and then later one time I was going to the show in Spain for the the tech show every year, and then on the way back I stopped and we hung out. And, Flossie and I have real similar, background. We're like sort of older, I'm like 40 and I think he's almost like 50 now, but we're sort of from the past. We grew up with technology, so it's like we kind of do the same things, and
I mean, I remember watching you guys at CES make those rush hour videos, man. Those rush hour videos were epic, man. They were epic, man.
Yeah, they were really good in the beginning, and then we just every time we did it, we just got more fucked up, more. And then by the end, we're just not even making videos. We're just getting hammered. So it's hard to make those videos because, trying to have fun, like not make videos,
All right. Well, we got to talk about that Korean barbecue. And I know you're a big proponent of Korean barbecue. I've never had it. So you talk to me about how good that Korean barbecue is. And I hear you guys talking about it all the time, man.
You have to go, if you want to really experience it, go to a really nice Korean barbecue restaurant. Like, I will, one of the hip, like Las Vegas has a lot of the newest hip ones. They're all popping up in Las Vegas right now. But I'm sure in Chicago there should be a bunch of really bomb places in Chicago. Just go look up on Yelp and try one of the 5-star ones or 4.5 stars. Don't go to the crappy ones. They're not, I mean, super expensive either. Korean food is not cheapest, but it's just gonna be like, it's a pretty, I don't know, it's just sort of, it's good food. You got a lot of vegetables, a lot of side dishes. You should go try it next time in Vegas. I don't know if we're. You going to Vegas this year? No, not.
No, I mean, it's funny because I think they're still having the crazily enough. But I don't know when I'll be able to go out and try anything with what's going on in the world right now. It's all messed up.
Yeah. How's your neighborhood? It's it's okay. It's pretty quiet over there.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet here for the most part. I mean, obviously in Chicago, you got protests, and they were going crazy about a month ago when unfortunately when Greg Floyd lost his life to the cops. So that was just a madhouse. But yeah, man. I mean, you got crazy people out here. You got people out here not wearing masks. You got people out here wearing a mask below their nose. It's bananas out here, man. It's craziness.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wish this COVID thing was over. It's just sometimes it's just you can't go anywhere. Like
it's crazy. I mean, I don't mind being home. I mean, I can work from home. Luckily, I have a job that allows me to work from home. So, I mean, it kind of saves me money working from home, man. But yeah, these people out here and their reaction to COVID, and they're not really taking it seriously enough. And it's just, I mean, we're gonna be on lockdown for a while because people aren't doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
All right. So, question for you: are you a gamer?
I used to be a gamer, like a heavy gamer. That's how I got into computers. But now, when I was little, I played games like all day, all night. And my mama will have to yell at me at 2 a.m. like, go to sleep. I think one time she actually threw my PC out. She's like, destroyed it, yeah.
So do you plan on getting any of these next gen consoles?
No, but I don't play games nowadays. Not too much because I just have a really addictive personality. So if I get hooked with a game, I might not get anything else done. It's like, but I did so much when I was little. That's why, I don't know. Maybe sometimes I play a few games, like really old games. They pop up on the Play Store sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. So, Mr. High on Android, given all the Android phones that you've used throughout your time, what would you say is your favorite Android device that you've ever used?
My favorite?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that was a hard one. I don't know. I just think there's no perfect phone. I'm always switching.
What is your favorite Android that's out right now?
I think the Pixel's nice. I like the Pixel. You know, if you want really good photos.
Oh yeah.
Videos are pretty decent. And plus the fact that you can root and do all this stuff. I think I like the Google. Google's my favorite because it's the original. I mean, but there's a lot of good choices. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you? Oh, let me guess. iPhone?
No. If we're talking about my favorite Android,
Oh, yeah.
Samsung. Always Samsung, man.
Samsung,
Listen, man. I got the OnePlus 7 Pro last year, and I was bored within 3 weeks. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a good phone. It's a nice device, but once you get past the fluidity of Oxygen OS, there's nothing there. There's no features, no builds, no wisdoms. I got bored, Matt. I literally got bored.
Oh yeah, Samsung's solid too. I mean, it's real solid. You know, Samsung's probably real solid, but I just feel like they're just overcharging it. They should be mass producing and make them cheaper. But the more people buy Samsung, the more they raise the prices. Like, how does that work?
I don't know, because it's not like these Galaxy phones are like selling out of the park. I mean, I guess they're selling decently, but like you said, their sales have been declining, but they're raising the prices. I'm like, what are you doing, Samsung? This is the wrong way to go. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I actually liked when Google used to sell the old Nexus phones, and they would actually sell it for way cheaper than flagships.
Mm-hmm.
And then Google got away from that too. They're overcharging their phones. Look at even the Pixel 4, because they come out with it end of the year.
Yeah, it's weird. Ooh, I got an interesting question for you. Are you familiar with the Saturday night tech fights that have been happening recently?
Saturday night what?
Saturday night tech fight.
Oh, tech fight?
Yeah.
No, you've been doing the tech fights?
Oh, I did one like a few months ago, but like I think this weekend it's gonna be a tech fight. The YouTube channel called Saturday Night Tech Fights, and they're like live tech fights.
Okay.
And it's crazy.
Oh, really? I need to get in there.
Oh yeah, they got judges. They got debaters. I mean, this stuff is wild, man. You should check it out one time, man.
Cool.
If you're not doing nothing Saturday night, you should check it out, man. It's crazy.
Nice. I'll check it out.
Definitely. But one of the questions on one of the recent tech fights was that should Android OEM be made to what was the question? I think the question was, should Android OEM be forced to run stock Android on all their phones? So I'm curious to get your thoughts on whether or not you think Android OEM should be made to run stock Android on all their phones.
I think that would be great to have an option. So, like, let's say I want to run stock Android on my Samsung phone, then I can just install this program and it switches it. So you have an option. That way, you actually get two phones in one, two operating systems. But these manufacturers missing out. They're like, oh, we're going to keep this proprietary, and then people don't like it and they can't go back to regular Android. So I think it's actually going to help them sell more of their phones, because some people refuse to use like Samsung UI or LG UI or Oxygen, but then they can go back to
that would be something. I mean, I don't see any reason why they couldn't do that either. But yeah, that'd be cool. Like, you just have to have one version of the phone that have like your Samsung One UI, and then another mode in there that allows you to run stock Android. That would be interesting.
Oh yeah, they could even let the old phones to do it. Then now people can run stock Android and update their old Samsung phone too. That's why these people don't think we got like numbnuts with pea-sized brain running Samsung. That's the problem. They don't think about this could actually make their product more popular. But they try to protect their technology or whatever, and it's going backwards sometimes.
So I think my man Jonathan posted the link in the chat. If you want to go check out the tech fight, he just Jonathan posted the link, so you can click on that link, check him out, man. You might like them. Crazy stuff goes down on Saturday night. But we know that there used to be Google Play editions of these phones, so it's not like it hasn't been done before. But I don't, like you said, that would be pretty interesting. They could do like a dual boot mode where you could like either boot to Samsung One UI or boot to stock Android. That would be crazy.
Oh yeah. That would be like that would be like making your Android phone worth another $100-$200.
Yeah. And
you can install on the old phone. Oh my God, that's $1 billion idea we just thought of. Whew.
Definitely. Yeah. that would be cool, man. That's interesting. That hasn't really been done before. I don't think so. Yeah, that would be cool.
You could totally do it. Like, this is already open source,
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can definitely do it. I mean, I don't see any reason why you couldn't do it. I mean,
Well, with the Samsung phones, what we used to do is I would install the Samsung custom ROM, and then I get tired of it, so I install Google, AOSP ROM.
mm-hmm.
So people can already do it, but it just requires a lot more, actual rooting.
Yeah, I mean, on these newer Samsung phones, you got Secure Folder, which pretty much gives you a completely different phone. So I mean, yeah, I mean, it's definitely doable. And we know that Huawei has the famous dot protection, so it's doable. It's definitely doable.
Yeah,
got that dot protection, man. It's doable, baby. It's doable. Oh man. All right, what was I talking about? I had a question. I should forget about it. So, are there any devices that you're looking forward to for the rest of 2020?
I'm looking for the new Pixels, but I'm hoping it doesn't have the 765G. It has the new faster Snapdragon, 875 now?
I think so. The new one, yeah.
No, that's currently 865, right?
Oh yeah, the current one's 865, right? Yep.
875. Okay.
Well, that won't be till next year, Mac.
Is it? No. Oh yeah. Oh, Pixel 4 will have 865. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just waiting for that perfect phone, I guess. Every year, but not happening yet. Just keep waiting.
No, Luca. I mentioned that, Luca. I said that the Google Play editions have been done, but those are just stock Android. Those didn't have like a dual boot mode where you could like use stock Android one time and then use like Samsung One UI the next or another time. Those are just basic stock Android phones. So the Google, while the Google Play Edition exists and have been done before, what me and Matt are talking about is something totally different from Google Play Edition. So I know I mentioned that has been done, but that's something different from what we're talking about. We're talking about a hybrid.
Yeah, just basically having two OS.
Yeah, basically you have a phone with two OS, literally. So yeah, that would definitely be legit, man. That would be legit. So I know you said you want to ask me some questions. Do you have any questions for me before we get out of here?
Oh, why is it Viper? Why is it
right.
Wise? I just
all right. So basically, when I was growing up, I used to watch WWE. And my favorite wrestler, who's still wrestling today, his name is Randy Orton, and his nickname is the Viper. Now, as why is 3 Ys? It's 3 Y because Viper, the regular spelling with the I, was taken, of course. Viper with Y was taken, of course. Viper with 2 Ys was taken. So I had to go about 3 Ys, Mac. 3. There you go.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that's why Viper with 3 Ys. Yep.
So what are you doing now for a regular job? If you don't mind me asking.
I work in IT.
IT? Oh, okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep. IT by day, tech creator by night, pretty much.
Cool. Yeah, I used to do that. Like when I first started out, I just moonlight. I'll just make videos or I used to actually blog. That's how I got started. I just blog at night after work. Yeah.
Ooh, nice. Okay. Nice. Definitely. But Max Lee, great conversation, man. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you.
Thanks for inviting me. It's fun. We'll do this again,
No doubt. Before we get out of here, let the people know where they can find you.
Oh, yeah, Max Lee on YouTube. Or you can hit me up Zedomax on Twitter. ZEDOMAX.
There you go, baby. There you go.
But there's another guy, Max Enley. So when you type Max Lee, these guys used to like show up at the last, and then now they show up first. I'm like, Max Enley. These people are like different. They make videos about their I don't know, they're living in a van or something.
Yeah, I thought, I'm like, wait a minute, who are these imposters? That's not Max Lee.
Yeah, so there's a Max Enley and then there's Max Lee. If you see a guy if you see a logo like this, some guy holding a phone, then that's me.
Look for the dude holding the phone. Look for the man holding the phone. You good to go. Shout out to those of y'all that watched the podcast live today. Thank you for hanging out with me and Max Lee. I appreciate you guys rocking out. If you want to go check out his channel, Janosin just pasted the link in the chat, so definitely go check him out. He is legit. He is Mr. High on Android himself. So if you like Android content or content about boosted board, definitely go check out Matt. Give him a good look. If you guys super chatted, brought me a coffee, or became a channel member today, thank you. Appreciate you guys supporting me each and every time I go live on these podcasts, which is frequent. Like I told you guys, we are picking up right back right where we left off. I got I think I have 6 episodes scheduled next week. So yeah, your boy's gonna be busy, and I think we're gonna be busy for a while on this podcast because seems like I'm finding a new guest every time. So yeah, it's crazy out here. So definitely. And if you're not subscribed to my main channel yet, definitely click on this link that you know and just paste it. For those of y'all that are here for Matt and don't know who I am the captain of Team Apple. So over on my main channel, I do mostly Apple videos, Apple content, things like that. So if you like Apple or you're interested, definitely go check that out. I promise you, it's not something that you're normally accustomed to. Not at all.
Yeah, I highly recommend everybody subscribe to over here.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out to those of y'all that are listening on audio only. Thank you for listening to another episode of VypDrive with me and my man Max Lee. Appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode. If you want to go check out Max's content, his info will be in the show notes. Definitely go give him a look. He is worth your time, especially if you're interested in Android and rooting and ramen and all that good stuff. Check him out. Also, if you want to support the podcast or donate, those links will be down in the show notes as well. Not required, but anything that you're willing to contribute, greatly appreciate it. So thank you guys for rocking out. And if you happen to be listening on Apple Podcasts, please consider leaving a rating or review so we can have more people discover the podcast, get back into the top 200 of tech podcasts on Apple Podcasts, and do all that good stuff. So thank you guys for listening to another episode on audio. I appreciate you guys rocking out each and every week. For those of y'all that like to watch this live, like I said earlier, your boy's not done tonight. I got another episode of VypDrive airing tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. We got the former leader of the Samsung Knights turned Apple user, LeBaron Burton, owner of Popcorn World, will be my guest tonight on the podcast. So that is going to be lit. So definitely come back at 10 p.m. Eastern if you want to watch that. But until the next time, people, this your boy Viper, the man about tech.
This boy, your boy Max Lee, man about tech too.
What he said. You know where to find me.
You know where to find me.
For more.
Yeah.
And you'll stop listening to my outros.